Hey everybody, for those of you watching the recording, welcome to the recording of a class training where I will be able to talk about how you can adapt your appointment outline for a class setting. So I'm going to give people a couple minutes to hop on here and then we will get started. So I did like this. I go crazy on Sundays and I play, hey Em, I play too much basketball for too long on Sundays, and so if my voice kind of gives out, I'm a very vocal player when I'm on the court with people. So, hey Jamie, yeah, say hi when you hop on. I want to know who's here. So my voice is a little funny. Wendy, hey Wendy. So I apologize for that, but I think it should hang in there for this call. So, lesson learned, maybe a little less boisterous on the court, but I was having fun, so it happens. Okay, so Em says, hey, hi Wendy. I think I'll probably maybe give it a minute longer and see who wants to hop on, and then we'll roll, because it's, yeah, Em's laughing, she knows. Oh, Em knows how I can be on the court. I might have traumatized a few teenage boys, but that's okay. Gary had to tell me to pipe down. I know, Wendy. I do want to come play basketball on your court. You guys have like the coolest hoop and the coolest court. Maybe we can figure that out soon, because Whitney had way too much fun at your house. So, guys, a class training. It's no secret. It is no secret in this group. I don't think it's a secret that I don't really like classes all that much. So, let me explain myself a little bit further before you like hop off or send an angry face up and are like, "Forget Amy, she's terrible." So, here now that we're like running our actual doTERRA business as like businesses and that we know our numbers, I can honestly tell you, like my class, I don't do a lot of classes, but my class closing percentage is probably about zero. It's pretty much zero. But my appointment closing rate is 100%. Okay, so from my personal experience, that might shed some light on why I'm not crazy about classes. Hey Kate. But the other thing is, guys, that even, I know that's my own experience, but when I work with other people and when I look at their numbers, overall, I find that people have more success with appointments. That being said, I think there's a time and a place for a class, and I think some people really love them. I am not super crazy about peppermint brownies and doing all that and finding a space, but if like that fills your tank, then let's talk about what that looks like. Or you might have somebody that really wants to host a class, and so this is a really good tool to have. I'm not against it, but that's just my honest opinion. And the one other thing I want to say, so we've talked about how we are up against a lot of, hey Amber, a lot of misconceptions with network marketing. And one of those is, even when I was teaching classes, people thought they were coming for a party. Okay, there's I feel like parties and classes are way more common, and therefore people come in thinking, I don't know. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's a free-for-all, but we're up against some interesting dynamics sometimes. So I love that when I say, usually what I do is I set up an appointment, I'm already breaking away from those misconceptions of like, I'm gonna go to a party and whatever. Okay, so I appreciate that. So that's just what I want to say about a class. I wanted to like explain myself a little bit before you were like, Amy's a loser and she hates classes. Okay, I don't hate them. So let's talk about how you can do one well. Let's talk about, even if you know that you're going to be gathering a group of people together, and you can do it in a way that helps them feel really cared for and really loved and is very effective, and you can walk away feeling really good about too. So I'm going to talk about the outline. First, I want to talk about supplies you bring to a class. I just want to touch on that, and I want you to know that I'll probably put supplies you bring to a class and the adapted outline in the Fierce Leader training binder in that Google folder. Okay, so don't feel like you have to feverishly write notes. What I would like you to do is to be able to kind of experience this, although it might be a little choppy, experience it as a customer, as somebody sitting in a class, sitting on my living room floor with me, and what that would be like. So supplies for a class. Your 10 oils, I don't care if they're big or small bottles, that doesn't matter. You want your 10 oils. I would really recommend bringing a pedal diffuser. If you don't have one, you should, because they're amazing. But if not, just bring a doTERRA diffuser. So you're going to want that. I would either say bring notepads for people to write on, or I would just, I'm biased, but I would print out the handouts and the kits that I put in the files section, as well as the binder, the training binder. And I would utilize those. I went to, I think off of Amazon, I got clipboards really cheap because I want people to have something to write on without giving them reading material, a product guide or a living mag, because then they're gone. They're in La La Land. They're in Clary Calm Land. They're in some Melissa Land in a helichrysum. So clipboard and my handout, or I would just get notepads and let them take their own notes. But I think it's nice to be able to provide pens, okay? So you're gonna want some pens. And then I meant to do this, but here I have an enrollment order form. So enrollment order forms, I am probably gonna say do the wholesale customer form. This is the wellness advocate form. But what you're gonna wanna do, you know how when I say to somebody, oh, just fill out the highlighted parts. I wanna live in Clary Calm Land too. Fill out the highlighted parts. And literally people stare at me. Like they don't see them for some reason. So what I like to do, there are a lot of options. There are a lot of things on here. What they recommend is to take, honestly, a highlighter, and you would highlight the Family Essentials Kit, the Home Essentials Kit, these two options up here, the ones that you talked about. And then you would simply like re-highlight these down here so it's super clear. Remember, customer first. I don't want them to look at this form and not know what to do and let that be the thing that keeps them from moving forward. So customer first, highlight those first. So I wanted to say that. Okay, so then I would recommend, I still tend to order the class in a box because I like to use the living mags, or you could just keep the ones that come to you for free and just bring a handful of those, and I'll explain when you use those. You could also technically bring a Modern Essentials or an Essential Life, but I would probably vote for the Living magazine. You're going to want to bring a first class special. So again, if you're doing the class in a box, use the wild orange, or maybe you want to make up some sleep blends ahead of time or something like that with some lavender and frankincense to use as first class specials. And last but not least, the intro kits for your cash and carry item, because you're still going to do the drop down clothes, and I'll explain how to do that in a group setting. But that's it. So we're going to stop schlepping around a million things. We're going to lighten your bag, and we're going to keep this really easy for you. Okay, so those are supplies. So now let's talk about, again, I really don't worry about taking notes on what I say about the outline. I want you to experience it. And because as you all know, I'm not a super, I don't do a lot of classes. I will probably be looking at my notes a little bit, and as we go through this, I will pretend that you guys are my class. If I feel like I need to time out and explain something, I will time out, and then you will know I'm talking to you as if we're here right now and not in a class. Okay, so I think that's what I wanted to say. Okay, perfect. So let's start. Let's pretend we're in a class. You've got your peppermint brownie that I so lovingly made for you. It was wonderful. So thank you everybody for coming. My name is Amy, and I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for taking the time. And really, I just love oils, and I love teaching people about them. That's it. So before we get started, I want to quickly let you know what you can expect from this class. And I have some notes here just to make sure I don't forget anything. There are a lot of you here today, and there's only one of me. So I know we're all busy. I know we all have things to do, places to be. I like to keep my part of the presentation to 45 minutes. So I'm going to focus on the top 10 most popular oils. And so if you have any questions or concerns outside of those 10 oils, would you just do me a favor and like write those down, and we'll talk after the class so that I can help you in that way. So, like I said, we're here today to talk about doTERRA essential oils. And by the time you leave, you should be able to tell somebody what oils are and how you use them, and also how you get them. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you'd like, I can help you order it today. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to essential oils, and I don't want to overwhelm you, and I don't want to bore you. So here's where I need your help. I want us to be able to go around the room, and I want to be able to share some of your health needs or concerns. And after that, I'm going to talk a little bit about the company. We're going to watch a quick video. And then we're going to learn about some of the most popular oils in our most popular kits. So before we jump in, what are some things that you for sure want to learn tonight? Time out. And then you would let them go around the room. So what I think is really nice, I keep a clipboard or something for myself with my script and, or maybe a blank piece of paper. And you're going to want to, as they go around and share their names and share, what they want to learn or their health goals or concerns, you're going to want to write that down. That's super important. Okay, so as you notice, that agenda looked pretty similar to what we do in our agenda outline at an appointment. What was different is we had to break it down so we got to hear from each person, so we could personalize it in that way. So they would go around the room, they would share. I would either literally write out a seating chart for where people are sitting or write it in a way that you remember. But that's going to be super, super important. Okay, so don't be afraid to take notes. And you could be like, I'm going to take notes so I don't miss anything. That's fine. It's not like you're being like a shrink or something. Okay, so they maybe shared about things they wanted to know, and you could also say, now let's go around the room and let's talk about some of the health concerns that you have. So you could break those things up. If you wanted to just get their health concerns, that's fine. But sometimes they have things that they want to just know in general. But again, write it down. And if somebody has a hard time thinking of what they want to say, you could say, oh, sometimes people say I need better sleep. I need to manage my stress and anxiety better. I have allergies, or I want to help with sickness. It's okay to give them ideas, but you could use the same concept that we do when we learn about their goals in an appointment, where you ask, what else, what else, what else? So that is what the agenda looks like, okay? All right, so back to the class. Thank you all so much for sharing. I will definitely make sure to cover all of those. So really quickly, do you guys know anything about doTERRA? Do any of you have anything that you know already? That was a little repetitive. Okay, sorry. And then I would share the company story. So doTERRA is the largest essential oil company. There's nothing different here, but I'll do this here so you can see it. doTERRA is the largest essential oil company, and they're just really passionate about helping families find natural solutions for their everyday lives. So moms and people turn to us when they are not getting the health results that they want from what they're trying. They are tired of using chemicals for literally everything. They're so overwhelmed by all the options out there and have zero brain space to be researching it, and they just need something super simple and effective. So doTERRA offers a full line of essential oil kits to meet your family's needs, whatever they might be. And doTERRA is super amazing because they're the most tested and trusted oils on the market. Nobody is doing what they're doing. This can be seen in their partnerships with 120 research facilities and universities, including Johns Hopkins. They are, nobody is sourcing their oils the way that doTERRA is, and nobody is testing their oils the way that doTERRA is. So no fillers, no pesticides, no dilution, none of that. You can totally know that what you're getting in that bottle is what it says is in the bottle, and it's very pure and potent, and you're going to get incredible results every time. They also have amazing customer service, so if you get something and you don't like it or you're not seeing the results that you wanted, you can return it within 30 days and get 100% product credit to trying something else, or 90% return back to your card. And then what she recommends to do is to play, you guys have probably seen it, it's the Class in the Box video, where they talk about what are oils. And I just feel like any video that doTERRA does is top notch. I just want to say, adding the video in is more of more advanced perhaps. You don't have to, but here's why adding the video in is nice. So you would play the video, it's about 4 minutes, and what you're going to do while that 4-minute video is playing, it's going to allow you the brain space to sit there and to write next to Lavender, oh, Susie and Sally wanted to know about sleep. Okay, Lavender. And you're going to write those notes into that section so you can address them by name. Super important. Makes them feel cared for. Customer first, right? Engages them. Throwing in a movie also breaks up the cadence, so you're not just talking the whole time, and helps them stay engaged and things like that. So the video is a great tool. It's just the doTERRA What Are Essential Oils from YouTube. Okay, so back to the class. I love that video because it's a really great introduction to essential oils. So the video briefly mentioned how you can use them, but I just want to take a moment to go over in a little bit more detail. And throughout the rest of the class, I'm going to be passing around oils, and you're going to get to try and experience them. And then by the end of it, you're going to smell super amazing. So then I would explain the 3 ways to use oils super briefly, not overwhelming. And back to the class. Now that you know how to use essential oils, I want to take the next few minutes to show you our 10 most popular oils that come in our most popular kits. So let's start with lavender. So Susie and Sally, Wendy says DVD. Yeah, you could probably play it on the DVD that comes in the class in the box because I'm sure it's on there. I would just pull it up on your laptop and play it off of YouTube. Did that answer your question? Let me know if that didn't answer your question, Wendy. Okay, so Susie and Sally, you mentioned that you need a better night's sleep. You're going to just take this lavender, you're going to put a drop on your pillowcase, on the bottoms of your feet, maybe some in a diffuser, and you're going to sleep like a baby. And Ruthie, you mentioned that your daughter really struggles with eczema. So this is an oil that'll be super helpful for her skin. You could apply it right to the area, and it's going to help really soothe her skin and be wonderful for that. And then you can just go on. And if you have somebody, you can talk about lemon and, I can't think of names. Emily, you said that you wanted to know about allergies. So in lemon, you could talk about that. And remember, it's about them. It's not about you, okay? So you would go through your 10 oils. If you have an oil that nobody talked about, that's fine. Remember, our 10 oils are universal. So if nobody said, I want help with stomach issues, that's fine. Hey, guys, digestion. Nobody mentioned this, but you're going to be so glad you have it. After you have like a big meal or your stomach's upset, whatever the details might be, you're just going to rub it right on your stomach and you're going to instantly feel better. It's amazing. So just like that. So you're going to go through your 10 oils that way. And now, so that doesn't look super different necessarily, the 10 oils portion, personalizing the products. But now let's talk about the clothes. So this is going to look a little different again. So what the key with the class is to address the group whenever you can. And to be able to provide direction. When you are talking to a group of people, you have to be specific about what they need to do. Otherwise, you will lose them to their wine and peppermint brownies. So be clear with them. So let's do the clothes, and then maybe I'll explain why it is the way it is. Okay, so now you've had an opportunity to experience the oils, learn about the 10 most popular ones, and how you can use them. And I want to wrap up now and tell you how you can get them. So there are 2 really popular kits. The first is the Home Essentials Kit. This comes with the 10 oils we just talked about, bigger bottles, about 250 drops in each bottle, and the most amazing diffuser, the Petal Diffuser. And this kit is $275. Another popular kit is called the Family Essentials, and it says same 10 oils, smaller bottles, about 80-ish drops of each oil. No diffuser, but it's still a great way to start off, and that kit is $150. Okay, so let me just tell you about my first class special. This is not my first class, but this is the first class that you've attended with me. So as a thank you for those of you who are getting a kit today, you're going to go home with a customized roller blend for sleep to start using right away. So if you already know the kit that you want, go ahead and fill out the highlighted portion of these forms that I'm handing out. You would hand out the forms, and I'll get to you as soon as I can. Please don't leave. I want to thank you. I want to give you your roller bottle to have a great night's sleep, and answer any other questions you have and make sure we have what we need. For those of you who have more questions and just need some help on talking it through and deciding what works for you, just hang out right here, and I will spend a few minutes with each of you individually so I can answer your questions and help you figure out the way to do this that fits you best. Bear with me as I want to make sure I get to everybody and help everybody out. I have a couple of living magazines that might be helpful for you to look at, and feel free to keep trying the oils or smell them or chat with your friends, and I'll get to everybody. Okay, so that's the end of the class in a sense, and then it's like the schmoozing and the caring for people that happens after that. So this is the key here. You give them the clothes, but then you divide them into 2 groups, so you can do, remember the drop down, the if you were to pick home essentials or family essentials, which would you prefer, to have that conversation with them. They say home essentials, you say, great, do you want to order that today? They say yes, you move forward. So you need to chunk those people up individually in order to do that with them, to help them move to that point of decision, whether the decision is yes or no, or an intro kit or a home essentials kit. That's what you need. Thanks, Em. That's what you need to be able to do, okay? So you cannot drop down. I couldn't drop down and say, hey, if you were to have the home essentials or the family essentials, which would you prefer, to a group of people? You cannot do that drop down, that type of a close in a group. So you need to kind of separate it up, okay? Let's see. What else do I want to say? Guys, that's really it. Do you have any questions or anything that I missed? I just feel like, I know I'm not a huge fan of classes, but that's not that hard. Like, that's really not that, like, if you know the components of your outline and you're comfortable with it and you just make a couple tweaks, that's super doable. So there's something called, I get to like read all the wins and the testimonies from the people that are doing this type of training in their doTERRA business. And it's really amazing to me. But there's something called Diamond Club, which, long story short, it's lots of classes each month and you need a certain level of enrollments. It's like 10 your first month and then 18 each month after that in order to stay in it. And it goes on for 5 months. So it's like intense, but it's a really neat way to support your team because doTERRA pays for your travel. The bottom line is this. There was a woman who used this model for her classes, and she had her 18 enrollments in the first 4 days of the month. 4 days of the month. So this can be incredibly effective when implemented well. Wendy, when you say split them into groups, explain again. So you want your people who are ready to, your shotguns, Wendy, to go, they've got the form, you would hand it out and let them fill out the form and make their decision. And the people that need more time and need you to do one-on-one and help them with the drop down and bring them to that point of decision to close them individually, they're in the other group. So you literally would have like the room kind of like divide, or just like be clear. Ideally, I think it would be kind of nice if they split up. So I'll do that from there again. So if you already know the kit you want, go ahead and fill out the highlighted section of the forms I'm handing out right now. And then don't leave. I want to give you your free oil. I want to make sure I've got the right information. And thank you for coming. Sorry. And for those of you who have some more questions, if you just want to hang out over here, I want to meet with each one of you individually. I want to answer your questions. I want to help you figure out a way to do this that works for you. And so I'm going to be able to help you in that way too. Feel free to read the living magazines as you wait, or sniff the oils, try them on again, or chit chat with your friends, and then I'll be able to help each one of you. So that's kind of what I mean. There are some people who will hear you say, this is the home essentials and this is the family essential, here's the form, and they will fill it out, hand it to you, and be on their merry way. There are people who are like that. So if you give them the opportunity to make that decision and be done with it, they will. Those are our wonderful decision makers. Any other questions? Oh, here's my water. I'm dying. I mean, don't you feel, throw some likes up or something, don't you just feel like that's really doable? So I hope at the end of this you see that even though I'm like, classes sometimes feel like a lot of time and energy, they can be done simply and effectively. I think it depends on where you live. I think it depends on the kind of people that you're working with. But I think it's nice to be able to have this in our toolbox if we do need to do it. And by the way, guys, there are some people who are seriously rocking. So I feel like you have appointments, you have classes, and then you have vendor events. There are some people who are rocking vendor events. So if you have questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Maybe I need to do something about that. But that's another area that I don't really do, so it'd be a stretch. Sorry. Oh, I took some truth serums tonight. Apparently I need to work on my vendor events and my classes. All right, so that's that. It's almost May. You're going to be hearing from me probably about things coming up in May, whether that's a launch training or in a business overview. I'm also hoping to do like a big team call and be able to do that. So fun things coming down the pipeline that I'm looking forward to. I just have to figure out what they look like. But I don't know, go book a class, you know, or an appointment, whatever. But go ahead and get it done, and I will go soon. These will be in the training binder, and I also want you to know I updated the training binder so it says outline everywhere and not script. Don't you love me? Okay. All right, you guys all have a really good Sunday night, and we will talk this week. Thanks, everybody.